Hello, my dear students, and hello to all the guests from all over the world. Today, I want to show you the introduction to surface modeling, and this chair is a perfect starting point and a perfect example to show you the basic stuff you need for surface modeling. I have some images found on the internet, and this is from a designer called Alvin Huang. I hope he's fine that I use his chair for showing my students how to model with surfaces. Good, let's start with a fresh scene, and actually I don't need a component here because I have just one object. So let's insert two canvases. Insert from my computer, and I'm taking the photo and not the side view because here I see one outline more than I have here in the side view. So open, and we will put it here in this view. Scale it a little bit, and of course we will do some calibration. Switch here to the right view, and from here to somewhere here it has 1800 millimeters. And insert second one. Now I use the top outline view here, put it on the floor, rotate it, and be sure that the slim side is rotated in this direction, so 90 degrees. Okay, calibrate, switch to the top view, and from here to here 1800. And I edit the canvas also that my starting point is here at the origin. This will always help, and move it a little bit right and up. So I take the outer line. I'm fine with that, and of course I have to readjust also that one. And at this point I'm checking if the calibration is more or less fine, because here the ends and here this area should more or less maybe move it a little bit more here, because this is the and I'm just putting it to the floor, more or less. Okay, this seems fine. Okay, then we create our first sketches. The first one here on the floor, and we start with a line here from the origin up here 1800. You see it's a little bit bigger than my calibration of the image. Make sure it is a construction line, and we build some more construction lines to help us to create a good geometry. One here, be sure that it is coincident with that line. Press X. And another one here. They're just helping lines, so don't mind about the length. And you see that this is not a perfect ellipse, and that's the reason why I'm not using here our ellipse tool. Instead I use the Spline Tool. And our first point is of course somewhere here. Then I take 2 points in the middle, somewhere here, and the last point here at the origin. Always when you use fit point splines, use as less points as possible. That's very important to keep your geometry more or less fine. Then press escape to get out of the tool. And what is important and why we created these lines here, we need a tangent constraint so that we don't have edge here when we're mirroring and doing further stuff. Also here, there has to be a perfectly smooth transition. And that's the reason why we use a tangent constraint. So click on it, click on line, and maybe you shouldn't have selected something. So click on the line, then on the curve, and you see the tangents are going perfectly horizontal, and I get this coincident, this tangent constraint symbol. Do it also here, select the line, select the curve, and you see I have my symbol and my perfect tangents. Now it's time to adjust them a little bit. I can adjust them in the length, okay, but not moving up and down. That's the reason why that's cool. And of course here, I adjust here the length a little bit more, and you can move your points so that it fits as good as possible to your sketch. When you're happy with that, select the line, go to mirror. The object is already selected. The mirror line is that one. Now we have a fine mirrored line. Okay. And before we finish the sketch, we create another one. This time we need an ellipse for the bottom, but I don't have an image for that, so we have to try a little bit. So go to ellipse, and I'm positioning the middle somewhere here, and be sure that it is snapping the line somewhere here, and I take a thickness of 500. It's just guessing actually how thick it is. And I have to move it a little bit, so press M and be sure that not the whole sketch is moving, only the ellipse here in the middle, and not so bad actually. When you're not happy with the length, then adjust the point here. Always press M to go in move mode. When you're happy, hit OK. And now I finish this first sketch. Then create a second sketch on the side view. And there we will create these lines in the middle and also that one going up. The first one I take a mixture of one. This is actually a straight line, and when we have the possibilities to do it a little bit straight, then please, you're welcome. Of course, we could also do it with the Point Spline, but the first one I'm drawing somewhere here. Make it longer than it should be. And the second one I'll create with 3-point arc. The reason why is I always try to use arcs or lines to create my curves, and when it's not possible, then I'm using the Point Spline. Also make it bigger than it actually is. So I put somewhere here point, somewhere here, and somewhere here. Maybe I adjust this a little bit with M. So that I get a nice bow up here. And I'll do a fillet between that and that. So I'm happy with that one. Then I will create now a fit point spline for creating these areas. And as always, as less points as possible. So I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's enough to use 4. I'm trying. And connect it here at the end. And now you can adjust with the tensions. I think it's not too bad. Just trying to see where it goes. So yes, it is fine with 4. If the snapping is annoying, just go inside a little bit further. Here I have to go up there a little bit more. Maybe it's harder to adjust the perfect positions with just less points, but your geometry will thank you later. So this is my first one. Then I'm trying to do an offset. Maybe this works. Just that I get a rough. Yeah. No, because I can't adjust here the points quite well, so I will do it with another fit point spline. I set the points somewhere actually similar to the others. Here, 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 and connect it. Press escape, and then I'm trying here. Happy? And another one. Fit point here. And yeah, maybe this is a little bit more complex. I'm doing one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 are enough here. Then let's adjust tensions. Happy with that. And next one, also setting somewhere next to the others. And so I'm selecting the point in the middle, and then works quite well actually. Good. And then finish our sketch. And now we're starting to work with the sketches. The first thing we do, and the reason why we don't use solid modeling is because it would be way more difficult to do these round shapes here. And so switch here to the surface tab where we have the orange symbols, and they look similar, and also they do similar things. So we also have an extrude, and we have here also sweep and revolve and all the stuff that we have in the solid command. But they are actually just creating a surface without thickness. You will just see in a second, and you could also, the only way to keep them different things is the colors. Okay, solid is always blue and surfaces are here in orange. So be sure that you take the orange one, and the first thing we do is extrude. And for surfaces, we also don't need closed profiles. The solid always need a closed profile, and in the surface we could take any curve which is not connected somewhere else, and we could do something with it. So select the curve here on the top, and we do a symmetric movement, and you can scale it actually, yeah, something like here 700. It should just be a little bit bigger than here, that bottom area. And that's the reason why it should always be bigger than actually the sketch or the photo. Okay, be sure that your lines are longer than that before you do the thing I just do. Hit OK. First surface. And now we will use this as kind of cut pattern or something. And we will do this actually with the trim tool. So we also create an extrude from these two lines. Okay, be sure that you don't select the profile, just the outer line, and just go up. See that? Yeah. In the middle we have our surface we want to end up with. Hit OK. So they should intersect on every position. And now we are trimming away the stuff that we don't need. It's a little bit difficult for the first time how the trim tool works. So go to trim. Then Fusion is just asking, okay, select trim tool. For the trim tool, I select here the surface, and then I select the second one here, and you see it's getting red. And what the stuff which is getting red is the one that will be trimmed away. So hit OK. Now we trimmed our first part, then of course we have to trim away second parts. Again, trim tool. Now select here the seat surface, it's our trim tool, and then select the outer one, and we can do it both. Also select the lower one. So the one in the middle is green, that stays, and the right ones go away when I hit OK. OK. Here we go, our first surface, where we can work with. Next step is I will create this bottom surface, and for that I just select the sketch and create a patch. Patch is just connecting all the edges I select. Maybe I should hide the canvas and the sketch, so you see just a flat surface has been created. Yes. Okay, new body, yeah. And you see the surfaces have a yellow and a gray side, and the gray side is the outside, the yellow side is the outside, and this is the inside. So be sure that all the faces of one object are showing in one direction. So the next step, we will need some guides between these two to create the surfaces here in between. For that, we are creating a new sketch. Yeah, we'll create a new one. And, oops, wrong. So sketch, don't be sure that you don't have selected anything. Create sketch, because we want this sketch plane. And I will also hide the first sketch so that we just only see the two surfaces. And you see, when I want to do something, no, here it doesn't work. So here it works. We do a projection that it will be easier for us to create next surfaces, next sketches. So create. We use actually intersect here because we want to use the points which are intersecting now our sketch plane. Select the geometry. I select, you see that? It's the red line defines the intersection of our sketch plane with the surface. So I'm just selecting all that stuff and I get this pink line. So I have 4 selected, hit OK. And when I hide my bodies now, I have 2 new lines here. And this will help me to connect because I need these points to connect my lines. In surface modeling, when you sketch, the sketches have to be connected. Then I do an arc. No, first of all, I insert my canvas and hide everything so that you're not confused. 3-point arc, the first one from here to here, and just a little bit of bending. Good, and the second one, of course, from here to here, and also a little bit of bending. You see that I'm a little bit away from my sketch, but I don't mind in that case. Okay, finish the sketch. See, now we have connected that. That's important. Then I activate my bodies here again. Hide my canvases so it's easier to see. Now we will use the Loft tool the first time. Be sure that you are in the orange surface mode, then go to Create Loft. Loft is connecting edges which are away from each other, and you will just see in a second. So Loft. We need profiles and rails. The rails is where the surface goes along, and the profiles is where to start from. But selecting the outlines, I activate here change selection, so it's easier because now the Fusion is selecting the whole outline, and this is what we need, the whole outline of the upper surface. That's our first profile. And see here the lower one. And you see our first loft created. And now you know why we did this curved lines, because this is our rail guide. Then click on this arrow here so that now I'm in rail selection mode, and then select our first rail and our second rail. And you see how perfect my surface is created here, and I have nothing more to do actually. Of course, now we cut out the holes, but with just some lines we get a perfect surface. Operation, I leave it to new body. I will connect out the whole stuff later. Then, this is great. We can change that the direction is correct. So go to modify, reverse normal. Select one is selected, hit OK. Now everything is yellow. Next steps. Activate the sketch where we have the whole lines. And now let's try the trim tool again. Maybe we just, let's see if this works. Yeah, I think. Then select this surface, and then maybe it's a little bit hard to see. I switch off my body here. I'm gonna select this one. Does this work? Yes, it works. See what happens? It creates the extrude automatically, and this will help us extruding and trimming. We just skip a step. Of course, you can extrude this and then do the trim as we did before, but the trim tool is also very intelligent, and we can skip this one step. And what I can do, actually, let's see what happens, because I have to trim away this one and this one, so they should be red because they have to go away. Hit OK. See, so I don't have to work to do the trim a second time. So this is very cool. Do it again. Go to the trim tool, select the surface, then select the inner curve here. Hope it works. So it works best when you hide the bodies. So I can select it, and when I re-hide it, you see I have the surface already here, and then select this face and this surface and hit OK. Cool. I know this might be a little bit weird when you use it the first time and what to select first, but select the surface, select the curve, and then select the surfaces which should be trimmed away. That's the shortcut of the trimming tool. And now we have to connect these over these. And so we use the Loft tool again. And we now don't need the guide rails because, yeah, you will see. Then, create a loft. Make sure the chain selection is on, and we are also here in the profile selection mode. Then select the first outline, select the second, and select the third. And see what Fusion does perfectly, is giving us a great surface. And we have nothing more to do. Here you can also play around a little bit with the, see what's happening when you have the tangent. That doesn't work. Let's see. No, it's not calculating correctly. I just wanted to try if we could. No. So stay just to connect it. New body, yes. Okay. And a second time. Create Loft. We are in profile selecting mode. Select the chain selection on. Select this one. Then the second one is this, and the last on the other side. Here we go. New body. Nothing happens when we change that. And I will reverse the normals again here. And with very easy steps, we get a great result, actually. And the only thing we have to do now is do a little bit of... No, first of all, we have to stitch this together, because now you see the orange always extra bodies, and so that we... Actually, we could also do... No, we can't do. When you have a closed body, then we will convert this now into a solid body. I will show you here with Inspect. Where's my section analysis? When I take here this plane, you see when I'm going through it, there is nothing inside. Okay, it has no fillet. I keep the section analysis so that you see it a little bit better. Switch it off again. And now we are stitching all the surfaces together. And because we are closed everywhere, this is possible. Otherwise, it won't be possible. So go here to Stitch Tool. And actually, I can just select here all the surfaces. It's calculating. You see, it's green everywhere. So Fusion tells us, yeah, it's fine. We can stitch on these edges. Tolerance is enough here. And stitch surfaces 5, yeah, fine. And hit OK. Now let's see what's happening. We have one, I don't know what is this? A ghost surface. I will remove that, don't need that. So, and now we have, you see the symbol, we have actually a solid body created, and you see it in the analysis, now we have material in it. Okay, so that's often used process to create surfaces, and then you make solid bodies out of it. And with this solid body, we switch back here to the solid menu. We can add some cool fillets. So we do filleting. Here, 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 and here. I think I need bigger fillets, or maybe I should save the scene before. Okay. Edit my feature. Not too bad, actually. maybe 20 is enough here. Then, of course, so let's calculate here the fillet. Also use, yeah, I could have done this in one step, 20. And last fillet here. You may also, I'll leave it to constant. So here when I use 30, when you have enough space between, depends on where you set your sketches, because otherwise it won't be able to calculate here 30 millimeters of the fillet. Okay. There it is, our first surface modeled object. I'll do a quick rendering. So this is my rendering. I decided to do an orange background and just the white plastics on it, some studio, and finished.